Today I'm going to be telling you about a brand that almost did not exist. Build With Temi. Yes. Build With Temi was not birthed from a strategy session, from a plan, from someone telling me these are 5 things you can do. It was actually birthed from the place of prayer. It was something that I received. It's not something I can say I conceived by myself. I do not think I am that smart. It was birthed at a time where I was full of confusion, and I believe that that's where most of you are right now. I believe that there is something in you that is stirring in you. There is an idea, you don't even know how to go about it. Is this what I should do? Is this what I should not do? You are totally confused, and that is why today we're going to be discussing something that most purpose-driven conversation do not discuss: the power of prayer in achieving your purpose in life. Like I said, if you watched last week's video, we're not going to talk about this from a religious perspective. We're going to just talk about it from a scientific, data-backed and known principles perspective of why you need to have a proper prayer life in order for you to achieve your purposes in life. Now, it's important for you to know that prayer is not just a religious formality. It's a tool that you're supposed to use to communicate with your creator, with the divine. And we're going to be taking it from 3 different angles. The first one is prayer as a conversation. The second one is prayer as protection. Whether you've been praying your whole life, maybe you were born into a religious family and prayer was just a natural part of your routine, or you're not even someone who believes in the power of prayer or anybody needs to pray or anything, trust me, this video is for you, and by the end of this you will understand the essence and the reasons for the prayers that you're making. And if you're someone that you're not even sure whether you believe in prayer or you should even be praying at all, you're going to seek clarity for why you should pray and how prayers can help you achieve your purpose in life. Prayer is one principle that dates back to religion itself. I believe that since the beginning of creation, people have been praying. Now, have they been praying the way we are currently praying today? That is questions that we might not be able to answer, but I believe that since inception, people have been praying. And one of the major reasons why we should pray is that a creation can never truly understand its purpose if it does not ensure it's having constant conversation with its creator. This is where prayer as a conversation comes. Prayer is not just a situation whereby you go, you talk, and you live there. Prayer is supposed to be a conversation where you say what you want, you pray, you ask, you listen, and you receive. There are many times in our lives that we have an idea that this is what I should do, this is what I should not do, and then we are just very confused. It's not that we do not have the idea of maybe starting a business, for instance, that you should start a fashion business. There are different ways you can run a fashion business. You can decide to run it as maybe bulk purchases. You might decide to do bespoke. There's different levels you can operate as a fashion business. It is prayer that can bring clarity into that confusion that might be in your mind when you're thinking about, oh, I know that God wants me to run a fashion business, but how should I run this fashion business? And now let me share the story of how Build With Temi came to be. Honestly, I have had my YouTube channel since maybe 2021 or 2022, and I've done different kinds of content with it. This is the content that has lasted the longest, and that is because I had purpose before I commenced it, and I kept receiving clarity, and I keep fine-tuning in accordance with the clarity I am receiving. And then it got to the point in 2024 when I said that I am not going to continue shooting any video on this channel till I know exactly what purpose this channel was supposed to serve. After I made that decision, it was over 3, 4, 5 months. I wasn't even thinking about it or consciously praying about it, though I was praying about other things. And I have my normal daily routine when it comes to prayer. And then the idea just clicked that we could have a platform called Build With Temi, and we're going to be talking about businesses and helping business owners to navigate the crazy terrain of the business world. And that was what we started with. And we did that mostly for the first half of last year. Before more clarity came, and the content started tailoring towards how people can achieve their purposes in life. All of those confusion were clarified in the place of prayer. When I received the idea that this is what we should do, I started praying to God and asking God, what topics do I discuss? How do I go about it? How do I discuss it in a way that doesn't sound like every other content that is already out there? And every single time I receive clarity. Even till now, I cannot run this by myself without praying to God, because I have to know what direction these videos are supposed to follow. All of that couldn't have been something that was planned or I could have done by myself. A strategy session could have done for me. There are things that could have only been bettered from the place of prayer. Another person whose life was majorly shaped by prayers is Steve Jobs. And that is surprising, because Steve Jobs is someone that everybody knows to not be a religious person. However, what he called his own was not particularly prayer. He said he was practicing some form of meditation. While I have my reservation about meditation and how it goes, it is still a way that we can understand the power of prayer, because he said that one of the most important skills he developed that led to his success in life was the ability to quiet everything and listen to his voice from within, giving him inspiration, direction, and correction on what to do consistently. And this is what prayer does in our lives, our personal lives, in directing us and helping us achieve our purposes in life. Another notable story I was able to read about while preparing for this video was the story of Oprah Winfrey, who said that she doesn't take any decision without praying about it first. She said that there are times that she has turned back big opportunities, huge financial transactions, simply because after she got into the place of prayer, she received within her spirit that this is a direction she should not go in. And it is no surprise that she has gotten this far. Whether you're a religious person or you're not a religious person, you still have to find a way to practice some form of stillness, some form of quiet the noise, especially this time where there is so much noise that is going on, in order for you to know what your creator is saying to you. And all of this I'm sharing is actually scientifically backed. The neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Newbach of Thomas Jefferson University has done in-depth research into the study of prayer and meditation. And he discovered that people who engaged consistently in this act of prayer and meditation develop something called the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain that helps with clarity, decision making, and a sense of purpose. This is why it is no surprise that most people who engage actively and consistently in the acts of prayer and meditation seem to just make all the right decisions that helps them to succeed in life. It's important for you to know that you cannot think or strategize your way through life. The only way you can receive what you're supposed to be doing and the strategies for how you're supposed to accomplish those things is through prayer. Now, my question to you now that I just want you to ruminate on and reflect on is, when was the last time you were truly quiet? You stilled everything and you connected with your creator. Not to plan, not to receive a particular strategy. You just wanted to hear the voice of your creator. Now, aside having the conversation with your creator, one of the most underappreciated function of prayer is the protection it gives you. It's not every open door that is your own door. There are some doors that are open and you're not supposed to go into it. As much as prayer gives you direction, it also helps you against misdirection. And that is the reason why you must consistently have a prayer life. Prayer is what will help you easily distinguish between what is good and what is yours. And most times, those things are not the same thing. It is what is going to save you from not taking the wrong step. Something happened to me in February this year. While we were preparing for Build With Temi video, we actually planned to launch again in February after we took a break last year. we shot videos, we invested time, money, energy, resources, and every single thing we invest into shooting every one of these videos, only for me to be done with shooting. And as soon as I was in the place of prayer, I knew that none of those videos are going to be posted, because one way or the other, they were not in alignment with what we're supposed to be doing on this channel. I could have posted those videos anyways and just wonder why I felt so heavy, or wonder why it did not achieve the aim it was supposed to achieve in the lives of the people that I believe to have created those videos for. But I am glad that in the place of prayer, I was able to receive not only the direction not to post it, but even the strength to obey that direction I had received. Because it's one thing to receive direction, it's another thing to receive the strength to obey and not consider all the resources that is going to become a waste as a result of not posting those videos. So sometimes what looks like a delay in your own life is probably just divine protection. I will also share another story about how prayer saved me. There was a time someone invited me to facilitate a session with female pharmacy owners, and we had to do legal research and so many other things to advise them properly on how to structure their business for success. We had done the research. Everything was ready. We had the talking point, we had the PowerPoint, and we were ready. Just a few hours before we were going to have this session, I just got a nudging in my heart that we should include 2 or 3 more topics into the facilitation session and take out some topics. And we did. I'm sure my team were wondering what is going on here. But they did anyways. We did the research. We amended the PowerPoint and everything was ready. It was such a surprise when I was done with that facilitation session, and almost every question that came from that session from the women came from the sessions I just added to it. That was one way prayer aligned me. Yes, it made me do more work, but it was better. And one powerful story I stumbled upon when I was researching for this video was the story of Albert Einstein. I don't know if he was a religious person, but he talked about one of the powerful tools that helped him to achieve the level of success and breakthroughs he achieved in his life, which was something he termed combinatory play. This is a deliberate time of stillness, a deliberate time of just quieting all the noise and truly hearing your own voice. He also talked about the fact that most of the breakthrough and insights he received were not from continuous calculation. They were received during times of rest, during times of meditation, during times of stillness. And he called this moment of receptivity. He famously said that the imagination was more important than knowledge. And for Einstein, stillness was not resting. Stillness was the work itself. Whenever he's working, he's only implementing what he had received from the place of stillness. It's important for you to know that some of the most important things that prayer will do for you in your life are the doors it closes, the decisions it delays, the turns it doesn't allow you to take. Yes, it's good when you get the green light, but you should also appreciate the checks that it gives you. So my question to you now is there something that you've been preparing for, that you've been trying to do, that you've not really prayed about, but you're wondering why you're not even sure whether you should do it or not? What if the missing link is not more strategy or more information, but it is more consultation with your creator? Now, one of the major mistakes people make about prayer is treating it as an emergency tool, something you just pick up whenever you need it. There is chaos, there is problem, and then you go and say, it's time for me to say prayer. No. Prayer is supposed to be something that you have to be doing every day. And this is because you won't just coast and find yourself living in purpose. Purpose is as a result of continuous deliberate effort, conscious effort that you are making every single day. This is why prayer has to be a major part of your daily life, of your life generally. There was a time I had a consultation session with a potential client, and I was hoping that we would do multiple businesses with our organization. I already knew the questions that this client was going to ask beforehand, and I had prepared for those questions. However, just before the session, I ensured I took some time, very short, and I said a prayer to God. Immediately, I just had some insights about what this client might need. The session starts. It was practically as if I was saying exactly what my client wanted to hear. And this was how we were able to close this client. I did not pray before that session because I wasn't prepared. I prayed before that session because I know that my preparation has a ceiling. But the prayer I was going to make was what was going to remove that ceiling. And this is something that occurs in my business almost every other day. One major example of successful people who ensured they were consistently communicating with God was Martin Luther King. People around him said that he was consistent in his prayer life, regardless of circumstance. He wasn't just someone who was practicing a particular religion and left it at that. So regardless of whatever was happening outside, he was able to logically respond to what was happening. It is also important to state that consistency matters when it comes to prayer. Research shows that 10 to 15 minutes of consistent prayers every day will change the structure of the brain within just 8 weeks. And that is how you just begin to naturally make better decisions and do things better and have more clarity in your life. Prayer is not just what you do when you're out of option. It is what you should consistently be doing so that you know the right decisions to take at the right time. So, is your operating system prayer, or what are you running on? And if your operating system is prayer, let us know in the comments if it is giving you the output that you so desire. Now, tying it all together, this conversation has been such a wholesome one. We have discussed prayer as a conversation, we've discussed prayer as protection, and also prayer as an operating system. It's important for you to know that prayer does all these three things, and once it has done it, it will give you and your life a level of clarity and direction no strategy, coach, research, or any other thing or person can ever give you. It's also important that you don't have to have the right words or the right posture or the right, like, it doesn't have to be, oh, this is how I want to make my prayers to God today. It is just you coming with your heart, with sincerity, quieting all the noise. Now, before we go, I'm going to be challenging you. For the next 7 days, I want you to ensure that before you do anything, no matter whether big or small, you say a little prayer. For instance, before you send that email, just say 30 seconds prayer, like, oh, God, let me know. You never know. You might just say that prayer and you spot the error that you would have sent out with that email. And as you're doing it in the next 7 days, I want you to take note of all the things that changed in your life within that 7 days. Also, I want you to share with us in the comment section a time when prayer saved you from a particular thing, or prayer was what gave you clarity to do a particular thing, or prayer was the operating system that kept you still in a difficult season of your life. Please share it in the comment section, because your story might be what is going to propel someone else to make the decision to shut all voices and listen to only the voice of their creator. And if it's still something you don't want to share in the comments, no worries. All you need to do is send an email to buildwithtemi@gmail.com, and I cannot wait to read from you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to share it with as many people as you know. There are so many people that are overwhelmed, that they are anxious, and they don't know that all they need to do is to still themselves for 10 minutes every single day, and their life will completely turn around. So please share this video with them. And if you did not subscribe when I asked you to at the beginning, this is a good time for you to subscribe to this channel. Click the notification button so you know when we post the next video. You know that this is the second video in this series. We still have 2 more videos to go, and I assure you, you do not want to miss any one of them. Don't forget to also like this video so that more people like you would see it. Thank you for watching. I remain Temitope.